Happy Friday, everyone. It's 8 a.m. Chicago time on December 1st, 2017. Welcome to December, a month to remember. Uh, we are, we've got several things going on today. I'll cover that real quick. Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Overall, the market was mixed overnight. There was a nice big splash down on the European Open, which we've recovered from completely. The S&P broke down to 2631 and a quarter, just below yesterday's low and into Wednesday's range, and came back up. The DAX is a laggard this morning. The DAX hit a low of 12,806, currently trading 12,959. So a big swing there, and it's down 93 points or 0.72%, followed by the Euro stocks. It looks like news to me in the overnight session. I've dug around a little bit on my news feeds and don't see anything outstanding. I haven't looked hard enough at what the reason is, and I don't really care what the reason is other than to find out what effect it may have. Is it a macro effect? Does it have, will it feed on itself? Things like that. And so I'm going to look into that as soon as I'm done here. The Nasdaq is down. The techs are still taking a bit of a beating. Nasdaq's going to is down 29 points or almost half a percent. The leader today is crude oil, $58.31, up 90 cents or 1.5%. So we have a mixed bag today. Today is likely to be a pretty active day for Friday. We have the elephant in the room, which is the GOP or the the U.S. Republican tax bill. The vote on the tax bill was delayed yesterday, and it looks like the earliest they'll get to it is today, this morning. It's important to pay attention to your news feed or turn on the TV or something, as this will have an effect on the market. The GOP or the Republicans yesterday found out that their tax bill is actually increasing the deficit. Generally, Republicans are really push the platform that no more taxes and no more debt. Difficult thing to balance. So $1 trillion hole in this plan over 10 years, and they're working to get the votes they need to be able to pass it, and they're right on the edge of having enough senators to vote for it. So that's very important. Whatever happens with that is going to be very important. I'm constantly getting feeds. Senator Johnson, for example, at 7:34. That's exactly 30 minutes ago. 7:34 my time came out and said that they're backing the bill, saying that there's progress on the pass-through issue, and it's as senators come on and say they're not for it or they're for it, we're likely to see a reaction in the treasuries and the dollar, and therefore also in the indices. So we'll see how that plays. It's sad, really, but our government has turned into a reality TV show a little bit. Uh, there's really We just have to sit and wait as these people figure out what they want to do. So, with that being said, let's take a look at what we expected yesterday. This is the primary scenario from yesterday. The expectation was for the market to take a dip down early into the prior day's range, expecting an impulse up. And then if there's any news on the tax plan, the expectation is a push, as I mentioned yesterday, to 2660 being the number. And someone asked on Twitter where I get to 2660 from. And as I mentioned yesterday, if we do dip into the range, the prior day's range, in the 2634, 33 range, then we are likely to have the 2660 becomes a statistical target range, daily range target, RTH only. So that was the primary plan. The secondary plan, so the primary plan is test down early, push up, and then if there's no news, then it's likely to go sideways. We'll have a B-shaped profile or a double distribution profile, and we're probably holding around 26.45 for about 12 points of range. Or if we get news that we're likely to push up to 26.60, here's what actually happened in the market. So you can see here we opened right there. This is my trigger chart. We opened, we tested right up against the prior day's range. This green line is the prior high. These thick green lines on my chart are the prior high and a prior low, prior day's low. Remember, this is an RTH only session. And then we get the impulse up. This is the impulse up I talked about. And no news would have us trading sideways like this at 26.45, right? With news has us shooting up. And as you can see here, we shot up to within 6 ticks of that 26.60 level. There's no magic to these, to how I'm coming up to these scenarios. With these scenarios, there are about 12 or 1,400 trader bite videos that I've done about in the last 4 or 5 years. And if you've been watching a while, you know how these are generated. They're not always correct, but at least we have a plan for how things might work out, and then we execute off that plan. So this worked out almost perfectly. Tested the prior day's range, impulse up, consolidate, and then took off, stopped 6 ticks from the high, and then drifted down. You could see that the delta or the sellers were in control from the peak. Also yesterday, the trades going off that are I would consider large lots, 28 contracts and higher, stayed steadily strong and flat. So there was very little participation. So you will see at about this point here, large lot traders stopped participating. This is completely sideways, okay? And all of this was done by small lot. The yellow line is the small lot traders, less than 28 contracts per trade, and you could see that the bigger players stepped aside after the peak was put in on the delta. So that's that. Again, as a reminder, this is what we expected. Okay, test down, impulse up, push to 2660. With that, we carry this carries us over into today's overnight. Here's the overnight session. We've got a market that stayed steady through the Asian session all the way through, right? And then European indices open right here, sell, pull back to mid, sell for an extension. This looked like an impulse down, 26.31 and a quarter, and then the market pulls back to mid, has a 3-point rotation and then an impulse up, and we're holding near highs, and it's likely to continue higher into the session, into the point of control. So that's what we've got this morning. As far as what we're expecting in terms of a plan today, key trades of the day in our scenarios, we're opening in value. We have a cutoff point here at 2640. 2640 is expected to be initial support. The expectation is for an open auction that drifts up to 2648.50 and pushes up into value high, which is at about 2654, and then we're expecting it to consolidate. At any point today, we have news. Okay, so we're likely to have news, so be on the lookout for that. We're likely to see something that's likely to move us on a quick push. And on days like today, knowing that there's a lot of macro-based news coming out in the form of a tax plan, there's also the issue of North Korea again going into the weekend. Um, just know that you don't want to be, as a trader, you don't want to be stubborn when the market impulses in one direction or another. So you want to take your stops quick and stay focused. Don't dwell on that trade that you got stopped on just now. Stay focused on what the market's telling you. You just paid up to get more information. See if you can use it. Okay? So that's the primary scenario. The secondary scenario, which is a little more interesting, is we open, we complete the overnight move, consolidate, and then get an impulse down. You can see the fatigue here from buyers. We get an impulse down that pulls back to the opening swing and then gets to that 2640 for a key target. This would be a key target right here. Consolidate, push through a little bit, and then back into the range. And then this would give us basically a Gaussian profile for the day. I'm expecting some selling into the close. I'm expecting some selling into the close ahead of the weekend. There's a lot going on geopolitically, and I expect those who are holding positions into new all-time highs to take something off the table. So this is the second scenario for today. Okay, a yes vote on the plan is likely. Well, we've already priced in quite a bit. The market's really expecting this thing to pass, as most people are. I expect the market will likely push up. We'll have a quick spike up, and then we're likely to sell off into the close. Um, we've been we've been trading to the positive side of this tax plan since the election last year. So there's a lot baked in here. I don't expect the downside to be very much. I just expect those who now know what the tax plan is going to be. And the next step, of course, it goes to the president to be signed into law. I expect the uncertainty to come off the table. So I expect this to flush up a little bit, and then you have takers coming in and taking money off the table. Okay. I want to remind you, it is like Friday. Please take a moment and hit the like button on your screen. You should be viewing this right on YouTube. So hit the like button, and that definitely helps me out. And again, make sure you're doing something today, whatever it is, to win the day. Make sure you're working towards something and that you're just not sitting in front of your screen staring and clicking away just like somebody at the slot machines in Las Vegas. We're here to make an advancement, to make money. If we're not making money, then we need to advance our skill set incrementally every single day. Okay? Take advantage of the day. Take care.